Welcome back, Veggie Family. We are so glad to see you again this weekend. We hope that you are all staying safe during the pandemic and remembering the 3 W's. Wait 6 feet apart, wash your hands, and please, above all, wear a mask when you are around others inside and outside. All right, so today we have a very special soup we are going to make. I know a lot of you, if you're like us, we're not really going out. But if you are a kind of person that loves to go sit at a restaurant, somewhere like Olive Garden or an Italian restaurant, and you're just not able to do that right now, we have a great recipe for you today. Today, we are going to be making vegan Zuppa Toscana, and you are going to love it right here, right now on Vegetari-Yum. For today's recipe, we'll be using 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 medium onion diced, 5 garlic cloves minced, 2 tablespoons of flour, 5 cups of vegetable broth, 3 medium potatoes. I've already cut them up so they're just waiting in the pot, a half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes, 3 Italian vegan sausage links, 1 14-ounce can of coconut milk, 4 cups of kale, you can use fresh or frozen, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and salt and pepper to taste. So the first thing we're going to do, we have put our olive oil in our pot and our onions. So what you're going to do is you're going to cook this on medium for about 5 minutes until your onions get nice and clear. Okay, so our onions have cooked for 5 minutes. Now we're going to add our garlic. And now we're going to cook this just 1 additional minute. So now we are ready to add our 2 tablespoons of flour. Okay, we're going to get that in there. We're going to give it a good stir. Make sure you coat all the onions with that flour. Then once they're coated, you're going to cook that again for just about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, once you add that flour, go ahead and put a little splash of your veggie broth in there. And whisk it up, because of course we don't want that to get burnt once we add that flour. So add a little splash. Okay. And if you need another little splash, go right ahead. Just enough to get that going. Let's get this out of our way. Give it a good whisk. Alright, so we're going to just continue on with adding a little bit of broth at a time. Keep giving it a little bit of a whisk. We don't want that flour to get all lumpy. So just a little bit at a time. Whisking in between. And you're going to continue to do this until you've added all 5 cups of your veggie broth. So now that we've added all the broth, we're going to add our pepper flakes. And we're going to add in our potatoes. Okay. We're going to give them a little stir. And then we are going to get our potatoes and this broth up to a boil. Once it starts to boil, then we're going to turn it down to low and let it simmer about 20 minutes until your potatoes are tender. Okay, so as you can see, our broth is boiling. We are going to turn it down to low, and we are going to simmer this for 20 minutes. And in the meantime, while we're simmering our potatoes for 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and put a sear on our 3 sausage links. Okay, so we are putting our sausage links on our little grill. We are going to make sure we grill them about 3 to 4 minutes, and just make sure throughout the process you have something that can turn them so they can get a nice little sear on and around the whole sausage. Okay, so as you can see, we have our sausage all done. We have cooked it about 3 or 4 minutes. We turned it around. So look at that. Delicious. All right, so again, our pot is still simmering with our potatoes. So while they are simmering, we are going to take these sausage and we're going to go ahead and chop them up into small pieces. Okay, so we have simmered our potatoes for 20 minutes. They're nice and soft. I am adding the kale. Remember, this is 4 cups. Okay, you're going to add your kale in at this point. Give it, again, a good stir. Get that all mixed up. Then what we're going to do is we are going to get this to a rolling boil again. And once it boils, we're going to turn it down to simmer. And we're going to let it simmer about 5 to 10 minutes until the kale is to your tenderness. And we are also going to add our coconut milk. Give that a nice stir.
Wow, that is starting to look pretty.
Yes, it is. Okay, now at this point, we are going to bring this to a boil again, and as soon as it starts to boil, turn it back down and simmer it about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, it might not take long depending on the tenderness of your kale. So, if you want your kale super tender, you might want to cook it a little bit longer. If you want a little bit of crunch, then you can cook it a shorter time. Okay, so our kale is done cooking now. Now for the last steps. We're going to add our lemon juice. Delicious. And our vegan sausage that we previously got ready. Then we're going to stir all this up.
Oh my, look at that.
Yes, amazing.
Oh my.
Give that a good stir. And unless you allowed your sausage to cool down, if it got cooled down, then you'll want to, cook this, simmer for a couple minutes. But otherwise, if yours is still hot like ours is, you are good to go at this point, and you are ready for sampling.
Everybody, now it is time for the tasting part, and I'll tell you, I'm really, really excited about this. With COVID and everything going on, a lot of people still are not venturing out. And even those that are, some are still not going into restaurants. And especially with something like this, I miss some Olive Garden. I know a lot of people love Olive Garden and miss it. But this is a way to bring it home and a lot healthier at that. So we have right here is our vegan Zuppa Toscana. I want you to take a look at that. Get your sausage in there, get your kale, your potatoes. Just look how that looks. That is just delicious looking. And a lot of people might draw comparisons to our white kale bean soup. It's a totally different soup. But this is, the first time we did this, I loved it. And I was like, we got to do a video. And I think we tried, but something happened with the footage. And I was like, we're doing it again because the people have to see it. So let me get a little bit of everything in here. I know a lot of people do this just like. This is just like. But this is about as close as you can get to just like Olive Garden Zuppa Toscana soup without being Olive Garden's Zuppa Toscana soup. What I really like is the vegan Italian sausage. It's got a nice spice in it. It really adds to the flavor. Of course, we got our potatoes, which are definitely tasty. Our kale. It's not like a crunch, but it's a nice little bit of a firmness. And of course, that's going to change the more or less that you simmer the kale at that step. I can take a little bit of the garlic in here, that coconut milk, and any of the other spices you want to put in here. And saying that, I need to take another bite, so hold please. So that is delicious, and that will wrap it up for us. That is the vegan Zuppa Toscana soup. A wonderful recipe to try if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, or even if you are not. If you just like Olive Garden, you like the soup, and you just want a healthier version, there you go. So, as always, we thank everybody for watching us. We urge you to like and subscribe to our channel, and definitely share the video so that'll help us out a little bit. As for us, that'll do it. So, for all of us here at Vegetari-Yum, and this wonderful vegan Zuppa Toscana soup, I'm Eric.
I'm Shelly.
And we will see you later.
Bye.